So there's audiophile gear, amplifiers, speakers, turntables, DACs, cables, blah, blah, blah. And then there's high-end audio. So what's the difference? Are they the same thing? Well, kind of. But let's start with audiophile gear. Audiophile gear is made by any company that strives to make products that are attractive to audiophiles. You know, let's say NAD is a classic example. They make mostly very affordable products that are really, really terrific. And then, you know, Shit Audio started not so long ago, and they do the same thing in a different way. And certainly ELAC speakers are very affordable and really great, you know, designed by the legendary Andrew Jones. So these are serious audiophile companies. But high-end companies are also making products that appeal to audiophiles, but they're making products without, let's say, the normal price constraints, like we have to bring this in at under $500 or $1,000 or something. Now, they can make products at any price range, and they just strive to make greatness in sound quality, in build quality, use great parts made with care. And I think a big part of this thing for true high-end companies is to provide long-term service for their products. So it's like Macintosh is a shining example of that, right? They still service their preamps and power amps that were made in the 70s or 60s or whatever. It's like, yeah, they stand behind them forever. And that's what I think that is a defining characteristic of high-end companies, is that they really do good. I can't say all of them, but many of them really, you know, provide long-term service and support for their customers. That's one of the reasons they cost more, is because that costs money. So, you know, Wilson Audio certainly is a high-end company. Magico, you know, there are many. But I'm frustrated that people use these terms interchangeably, that audiophile gear and high-end audio are the same thing. And they can be. So, you know, a high-end company is also making products for audiophiles. But high-end companies are also making products for customers that are not necessarily audiophiles. They're rich people. You have to be rich to afford truly high-end, very expensive gear. And those people could be just music lovers that want to have nice things, so they don't have audiophile concerns, like they don't wake up every day and say, you know, is my polarity correct or something. They don't have those thoughts, right? They're just, you know, have nice things and they love music and they want a nice high-end audio system, but they're not necessarily audiophiles. Some of them become audiophiles, but that's a subject for another video. But anyway, I'm just kind of doing a little rambling here about the difference between audiophile and high-end audio. You know, I had a meeting the other day with Dan D'Agostino from Krell, and now his own company, Dan D'Agostino. And, you know, that we kind of circled around that he's been doing this for, you know, designing gear for a really long time, and, you know, what he's learned, and it's a lifelong pursuit for him of just keep, you know, hitting that thing again and again, saying, I want to make something better. I want to make something better. I want to make something better. And he's done it. I'm going to run this video soon. I may have already run the video before I post this video, because I do post them out of order of the way I make them. But it just sort of set me on this course of thinking about high-end audio companies. And part of my attraction to them is just that they have that, they're run by somebody who has this passion to make something great. Most of the people in high-end audio don't actually get rich from making high-end audio. The ones that survive and go on, I would say, live comfortably, but I wouldn't call them billionaires or zillionaires or anything. They do okay. But their motivation for getting into audio wasn't to become rich. It was to make something of excellence. That's what it's about. I think it's almost like it's a calling. You know, it's a craft. They're artisans that work with resistors and transistors and cones and domes and panels. That's their self-expression, is through those products. Now, it's also true for audiophile companies that do the same thing. I mean, Shit Audio with Jason Stoddard and Mike Moffat, I think they are driven to make great sounding products, and they have a very long history in the business. But they are trying to make products that are affordable, and making affordable, great sounding products is also definitely a calling. And the audio industry would be better off if we had more companies as passion driven as Shit Audio. So you can be passionate for extremely high end audio and extremely passionate for very affordable audio. I hope that sort of clarifies the difference, and it's just my definition. I don't think the world's going to change because that's the way I see it. I just wanted to throw that out there for you to consider and mull over. And remember, well, first of all, a lot of high-end audio eventually gets to be not expensive as it's sold on the used market, so you can get a piece of that even if you can't afford the super expensive stuff when it's new. Give it some time and it trickles down and you may be able to snag a piece of that. But whether you do that or not, some of that technology, some of those ideas do trickle down into more affordable gear anyway. So the high end isn't just play toys for super rich people. It has its place in the high end audio, in the audiophile marketplace. I think I'm rambling now. I got to stop. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Please come back daily if you like it. See ya.